Cornelius, Alexandria, Louisiana. Good morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year to all the Book TV and C-SPAN 2 listeners and everything. Chris, I'm really enjoying you. I was a former correctional officer at the Federal Correctional Institute at Oakdale, 1, Louisiana, and I was also a federal inmate because the FBI set me up. My question to you, working with these inmates and stuff, in which, like I said, I worked at the federal institution. I think you worked at state institutions from what I'm hearing. I'm going to try to get that book, Our Class, and everything. It seems like you really listened to the inmates to find out what was wrong with them in their past. A lot of them might have been sexually abused or emotionally abused or physically abused and everything like that. And I'd studied sociology at Louisiana Tech University in Ruston. Gary Stokely was my professor at Louisiana Tech. And like I said, you learned to listen to these inmates, and they responded to you with love and affection. I'd love to see that play online and stuff like that. I wish you could get it online. Is there any way I can contact you? Because I got the information where the FBI lied on me and stuff to set me up and put me in prison, and they put a piece of rope in my food to get me to plead guilty. But I'm innocent, and I can prove it.
Send an email to Book TV with your email, and I'll contact you after the show. You have to listen. I mean, prison is, as you know, it's a subculture. Subcultures are always fascinating to me, with its own language, its own set of rules, its own. I mean, for instance, if you have to stand up for yourself within a prison, that often means physically nobody's going to fight for you. Although people might fight with you. The predatory nature of prison, the knowing who to trust. There's a chapter in this book, Our Class, called The Antenna, and I know, having covered war, that you have to read people really well in a war zone, knowing who to trust and who not to trust, because if you trust the wrong person, you may never come back. And I certainly found that among my students. They had a remarkable ability to read people very quickly. That probably comes off of the streets, where that quality was important to survive, but that quality is essential within the prison itself. Just the reporter in me is fascinated. I will say, and I've told this to my students many times, having been overseas for 20 years and having lived in countries where people are not white, whether Latin America or the Middle East. They were different in Yugoslavia, but I spent a lot of time in Gaza, for instance, and I speak Arabic. But however hard you try to understand, privilege is a form of blindness. That's why I taught Lear in the prison. Lear can only see when he is naked on the heath and stripped of power and pomp and status. It's our job for people such as myself who come out of positions of privilege to listen and learn as much as we can, but always to understand that we can never cross that divide. That privilege will always inhibit us from fully seeing the way. Solzhenitsyn writes, there are two things that provoke wisdom: prison and poverty. And I think that my relationship with my students, and thankfully many of them are getting out, and I just was in having lunch the other day with one of my students who got out after 38 years for a crime he didn't commit. I think if we honor that divide, or if I honor that divide, then we can have real relationships with people who have endured horrific oppression, understanding that we don't fully understand.
Chris Hedges, two things. I'm going to guess that there were people in the audience who rolled their eyes when Cornelius said he was set up by the FBI. And I want to ask you, how do you know that your student, after 38 years in prison, did not commit that crime?
Because the chief of the public defender's office in the state of New Jersey has taken the case, a wrongful conviction case, and told me she's 100% certain. They didn't have DNA back then. And this was a murder where I didn't know anything about this till she explained, but you have people who study the decay of the body, and particularly the various bugs that will begin to feast on a corpse, and that is the way they determine the time of death. Because if the body's been there a certain number of days, you can then, and they have already traced it back, these experts, to the day, and he wasn't even in the state when she was killed. So I have other students that I'm pretty certain, but in this I'm completely certain, yeah.
And what about Cornelius when he said he was set up by the FBI?
Well,
when you hear that, given your experience with your book, Our Class, and the work you've been doing, do you hear, not sure that's quite true?
Well, no, the FBI sets up all sorts of people. I mean, I think many of these young Muslims who've been hauled off on quote-unquote terrorism jobs are kind of dead-enders, from Somalia or something, couldn't have handled the logistics or the money or anything else but for the FBI plants inside the organization. We still go back to COINTELPRO, go back to the Black Panthers. I mean, when Malcolm X was assassinated, the first person to get to him was a police informant, and there were a police officer undercover, hiding as a black Muslim, and then, or as a follower of Malcolm, and then there were reputedly 9 FBI informants in the ballroom, and no police protection, of course. So, unfortunately, this has long been, so I don't know, I haven't read his case, I'd have to look at it, but it's not impossible.